Providing live finance advice on WMAC since 1993. It's time for Your Money with Steve Rosenberg, Sherry Goss, and Randy Goss. To participate in today's program, call 478-742-0940 with your financial questions or comments. And now live from the Macon studios of News Talk 940 WMAC, it's Your Money.
Good morning, Middle Georgia. Randy and Sherry Goss are here to take your phone calls. 742-0940. 742-0940 is the number to call us and go live on a Saturday morning.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Sounds like I am talking in a well over here. I'm okay. Anyway.
That happens sometimes.
We are with Rosenberg Financial Group, and we have offices in Macon and Warner Robins for your convenience. And our website is retirerelax.com. And if you'd like to learn more about us and take a look at a lot of our special reports we have out there, absolutely free for you, please log on to that website and take a look.
Lassie, he's in the well.
Help me.
So, yesterday, the S&P 500 closed at a new high. It was only up 5 points from the high of September, so it was not like a big, huge thing, but it is nice to see things moving in the right direction. But here's my conundrum for you.
A conundrum?
A conundrum.
Oh, boy.
So, yesterday, the CDC said we had a record number of cases of you-know-what. Is it because of all the tests, or is it because people are sick and getting tested?
I believe it's the test. They've ramped up more testing. And
so here's the conundrum. So yesterday we had a record number of cases, which would mean bad, 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 because Biden's advisor, his COVID advisor, wants to lock down the country for 4 to 6 weeks to get the pandemic under control and pay everybody a living wage and pay every business to stay open in the entire country.
This is exactly what they want. They want to just drive socialism down our throats.
Yes. Well, that's what this guy's all about. He wants to shut us down for 4 to 6 weeks and says that will get it all under control. And it will make the virus go away, and then we'll all be fine.
Yeah, don't believe that. Yeah.
I don't like this guy. His name is Dr. Michael, I don't know if it's Osterholm or Osterholm, a coronavirus advisor to President-elect Joe Biden, wants a nationwide lockdown, literally every person shut in their home.
So at how many weeks? 4?
4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so at the end of 6 weeks,
it's magically going to be gone.
It's going to be gone. Magic. So that's not even the same time frame that they think a vaccine will be fully implemented.
Right.
So
they're thinking that's really not until March. So how is it magical?
Well, if that's the case, then let's just stop the production of all vaccines.
We don't need them.
We don't need them.
Go
that's
away.
right. It's going to be magic.
It makes my head hurt.
Anyway, Sherry, I've got.
But I didn't get to the end of my conundrum.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so. Get the Elon Musk article.
I got it.
That's next. Okay.
That's it, yeah. Okay. But we have other things
Wait,
to cover.
Hang on. So here's the conundrum. So yesterday we had a record number of cases. However, MGM stock was up 9%. Valero Energy was up 8%. Simon Properties, which is shopping malls, it's a real estate investment trust predominantly full of shopping malls, was up 8%. How are those stocks that have been the most beat up since this thing started, how are they up on a day where we have the record number of cases? What's the answer? What do you think?
I need the Jeopardy music so I can... let's see here. Alex, I think it's because the stock market does not reflect what's generally going on around us.
I think the stock market thinks Biden's going to make the virus go away because he's going to be the next president and he's going to just wipe it out magically and everything's going to go back to normal, even though there's a cruise ship out there right now with a bunch of sick people on it.
That's right. Yep, that's right. Had to lock down the cruise ship again. But, before we go on, Sherry, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. We do have the... Hang on. You got anything else on that paper?
Yes, but I can wait.
Okay. Just remember the COVID conversation we were having, and we're going to get back to that with a couple of interesting articles, and one of them involves Elon Musk. Anyway, in Macon. We always like to have a little
Yeah.
bit of stuff in the mornings at the very beginning of the show about what's going on around Middle Georgia. And I will tell you, we got a lot of great things going on. And, you know, you've got a lot of great art agencies downtown, but Macon Art Alliance is the art agency for Macon.
They're kind of the
Bibb
epicenter,
County.
and they're the ones who blast
That's
out
right.
everything that's going on. So
That's
you need
right.
to subscribe to them.
To Macon 365, and there's also it's called the Rosette. It's from Newtown, Macon,
Which
and
is
it's
great.
really, really good. And if you get those, you can find out everything that's going on in Macon, Middle Georgia. And I would encourage you to stop by the 567 and Macon Art Alliance and take a look at what they have to sell. They have some great artists downtown who are selling items for Christmas. So if you need a real nice handmade gift, that's where I would recommend you go. But also, going on right now is Fire and Ice, and it's held in the
And it's actually live, and you can actually go in and look at stuff.
That's right.
For real.
And it's a fantastic event. And hang on, we got a caller already. Good morning. You're on the air with Randy and Sherry.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
I just wanted to call. I'm fine. Hope you
We're
folks
good.
are too.
Peachy.
Just wanted to call with two quick things about the virus.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear them talking about the number of cases going up, you need to ask two follow-up questions. The first question is, but what about the rate of deaths?
Right.
That's what I watch.
Yep.
Very,
Because
very minor.
that's not really going up.
Right.
As a matter of fact, there's a very well-known man in his mid-70s who got tested positive for the virus. He showed symptoms, and then they got him treatment, and he's alive and fine.
Oh, that can't be true.
And serving out the remainder of his term as president as we speak.
That's right.
Unfortunately. The second thing to remember is what is the other reason they would be screaming about it, and it's because Nancy Pelosi still wants to spend over $2 trillion with her crazy plan.
That's right.
So she can run around and scream and yell and holler and, oh my God, the sky is falling, we're all going to die, the testing.
We need to.
The rate of disease that's going through the roof. Spend my money, pass this plan now.
That's right.
I
You
wish I
need
could
to
spend
add the word screech to that when you talk about Nancy.
Yes.
I want to
yes.
spend her
And
money.
then she can go home and check out the ice cream in her freezer.
That's right.
Guys, great show. Y'all have
Yay.
a great day.
Wonderful call. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, that was a great call. I love that. We're talking about the Fire and Ice exhibition.
Tell them where it is.
It's in Central City Park in the Round Building, and
It's free.
It's free.
Are they serving food this year? Probably not.
No, just drinks will be there, and you need to wear a mask, and that's what the only requirement.
Okay.
And they
No
may have
gloves,
no
no
gloves,
hazmat suit.
no hazmat suit. It's a great event, and we have another call
What's
already.
the time of the event? Get to the point.
Hang on one second. Good morning. You're on the air with Randy and Sherry.
Leave them hanging. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Speaking of
Julie
Macon,
Wilkerson.
yes, this is the executive director for Macon Art Alliance.
Yay.
Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Hey, well, I heard y'all talking about Fire and Ice and shopping downtown, and I thought I would call in because I appreciate you giving that shameless plug. We do have, and also speaking of the virus, we do have an event from 10 to 4, started yesterday, every day from 10 to 4, today, tomorrow, Monday through next Thursday at the Round Building at Central City Park. We are asking people to wear masks, and I'll be honest with you, that building is tremendous, has super high ceilings. It's beautiful. It's been renovated, and it really is pretty. The weather is perfect. It has natural ventilation. There are some space heaters, so it won't be cold. But no air conditioning. I think everyone who comes down feels safe. Plenty of room to social distance. We have about 32 artists, glass and ceramic artists, and they have an assortment of decorative and functional pieces that could be gifts, or we also have Christmas decorations and ornaments, as well as at the gallery, which will be open next week, Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 5. We have a lot more Christmas ornaments and holiday items there as well. So lots to do this holiday season, and it's supporting local artists and local shops. Maybe come downtown and eat lunch.
And
right?
and the local artists, they probably been hit as hard as anybody else, or worse. So
yeah, I agree. They, a lot of events have been canceled. There's another big ceramic show that happens in the fall that was canceled. They have a lot of work and they don't have a lot of outlets for it. And
right.
I really feel like we have made this event as safe as it can be. But I do realize that some people are high risk or not comfortable going out, which is I certainly understand that. My parents are older and at risk and don't go out a lot.
Right, yeah.
But you can shop online at makingarts.org/shop. And we have a whole section on that site for Fire and Ice where we have items. You can choose local delivery or shipping, or you can pick them up at the gallery next week. Just let us know you're there, and we'll bring them out to you. So just really trying, that's another interesting conversation about how retail establishments and organizations are adapting to this environment and how some things are really an improvement that will stay. We will always have this online shop now.
Right.
It's convenient, and there are also some things we'll always do with Fireworks and Fire and Ice that we've been doing that just are like, oh, yeah, that was a good idea. Why haven't we always done it this way?
And we've talked on this show a lot about how business has adapted to the coronavirus, like the restaurants. Many of them downtown have carry out, and that's going to be permanent. A mainstay of their business.
The other thing is that First Friday, which I missed because I wasn't home, First Friday happened last week.
It did.
And so people need to understand that you can get out now on a First Friday. Everybody's eating out. You can sit outside. You can socially distance. You can have a great time and a good dinner and go through Making Arts and 567 and look at art.
And that's right. And we talked about that. We had people come in. We hadn't had a big crowd, so that's good. We are limiting the number of people in the gallery, but we have yet to tell anyone that it's too full, they can't come in. And also, I can see the people eating outside. Newtown has put those picnic tables on Poplar Street as well. So if the outside restaurant fills up, you can get it to go and go take it to a picnic table.
Yep.
We've been blessed with this weather. I mean, how great is that it hadn't been so cold? So I feel like, we're really in a good place, and people are starting to go out because we've learned number one, how the virus is transmitted. I go hark back to the days when you came in and took off your clothes and put them in the washing machine before you did anything else, and you washed your groceries and wiped them down because we didn't know how it's not that was not smart. We just didn't know how the virus was transmitted. And now we do. And so you can keep your social distance and wear a mask to protect yourself, but mostly to protect others.
Yep.
And really go about your business. There's no reason for businesses to close as long as they are doing the things that they need to do.
I agree.
But the restaurants really need our help because I know inside they've been limited by their capacity, and it's hard for them to operate at a limited capacity as well. So I encourage people to go shop at Fire and Ice, go eat lunch downtown, leave a big tip for those workers that are
Agreed.
having a hard time, and support local business.
Amen.
Because this holiday season, I know for the art clients, and I know it's true for everyone else as well, this holiday season, November and December, are where we make at least 40 or 50% of our dollars, which for the art clients is not just our dollars for our programs, it's dollars for our artists.
Right.
Because everything is commission-based. And so we really need to try to support local so these businesses can just make it through until now. It looks like maybe just April. Sometime around next spring, things are going to be, we have a vaccine and everybody will take it, things are going to be much better.
All right.
Well,
thank you for calling. Excellent.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you for listening to the show, too.
And I went to Make Art Alliance last Friday, on First Friday, and they had a fantastic assortment of handmade glass ornaments.
I know you bought some stuff.
I bought a lot of stuff.
But anyways, check them out, please. Julie, have a fabulous day.
Thank you, Julie. All right. We told you we're going to have some more stuff on Elon Musk and the virus.
Yes, take it away.
All right. Musk has for a long time questioned the coronavirus test. Well, this past Thursday, he claimed that the results showed he tested twice, positive twice, and then negative twice, all on the same day.
Yeah, he had 4 consecutive tests.
Yep.
2 negative, 2 positive.
And all the tests were done by the same nurse using the same COVID-19 antigen test, and it was from Becton Dixon, and this was a rapid test, but he tested 50% positive, 50% negative, and he just thinks that what they're trying to do here is put items to the market too quick, and there just is imperfect science on getting the test back.
This is the same company that's been testing in U.S. nursing homes and been accused of they're testing false positives a lot and locking people down that don't need to be locked down.
I love here what the company said, though, Sherry. We are aware of the tweet by Elon Musk and are reaching out to learn more, consistent with our quality management process. Maybe they should have put the quality management up front when they made the test.
So Musk had previously criticized the restrictions and lockdowns, referring to those as fascist and an infringement on individual liberty, which brings me to...
But, there's...
Wait. What do you got? What do you do?
I was just going to say that, we have said many times on this show that in times of uncertainty, people become creative and cottage industries emerge. And just to prove our point...
So I had this idea before I saw the article.
Yes, you did.
I thought, how could you make a lot of money off this virus? I thought, simply because our kids had to be tested, and I asked them, what did your test result look like? And then it said it's just basically handwriting on a piece of paper that's signed. It says either negative or positive. And I said, what? It's not like a formal document? And they said, no, it's just like a handwritten note. And so who couldn't do that? So I'm thinking you could create a website and sell negative tests to people that want to go travel the world but have to prove that they're negative before they could get on a global air flight.
You were talking about this weeks ago.
And I thought, what a genius idea. Well, then I looked it up, and guess what? Someone else beat me to it. So a black market for negative COVID tests has popped up across the globe as more countries require travelers to prove their negative status before entering. This had to happen.
Right.
People are looking for an opportunity at every moment. Every angle. And here they did it. So in France, 7 people were arrested last week for allegedly hawking doctored coronavirus tests at the airport. They were charging $360 for a fake test. The alleged scammers face up to 5 years in prison. So, I really was not going to do this, but I did think about it.
Well, you look good in stripes.
I just had the idea because this is how people operate.
Right.
You just know there's going to be somebody doing this. In South America, Brazilian officials arrested 4 tourists who gave fake tests. In England, a man told a local newspaper that he was able to travel to Pakistan by using a friend's negative COVID-19 test and changing his name. He says you simply get their negative test in the email, change the name and the birth date to your own, and then print it out and take it to the airport.
Okay.
What a country.
What a country. Hey, and we've got a really high-quality printer at the office. If anybody needs any help, let us know.
So one last thing on this doggone virus. I swear, this is the last thing about it, right? You don't have anything else about it, right?
Yep.
Okay,
right.
Good, because I know people are sick of hearing about it. But there is a German Corona Extra-Parliamentary Inquiry Committee that launched on July 10th of this year. It was founded by 4 trial attorneys to investigate and prosecute those responsible for implementing the economically devastating lockdowns around the world, which would include the guy that's the advisor to Biden, as well as fraudulent testing to engineer the appearance of a dangerous pandemic. This could be the most massive tort case ever, a case described as probably the greatest crime against humanity ever committed. They argue that pandemic measures were intended to sow panic so the pharmaceutical and tech industries can generate huge profits from the sale of PCR tests, antigen and antibody tests, and vaccines. Lockdowns were unnecessary, they say, and any claim to the contrary is wrong. The inquiry committee insists. The virus was already in retreat and infection rates were starting to decline when lockdowns were imposed. Mortality statistics during the pandemic have been within the norms of any given year, meaning the pandemic has not resulted in an excess number of deaths or a death toll higher than normal. da 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 da. It's a 20-page article. I will not go on any further.
And our audience thanks you.
Yeah, but so they're trying to get other countries to join them in going after the people who locked everything down, which I guess Fauci would be at the top of the hit list,
right,
and the World Health Organization.
You know, Sherry, last weekend when Steve and I were on the show, I talked about stocks that were making a big boon, you know, because of everybody being locked up. And Peloton was one of them.
Work from home
Work
stocks.
from home, right. And Zoom, Roku. But those stocks took a big hit this week because of the Pfizer vaccine news.
I don't get, that's just too reactive.
It's too reactive.
It's under clinical trial still.
Well, the market can be fickle. So, and this is what I was saying at the end of those articles, is that people who are chasing returns will jump on those stocks when they see them in the news. And when you see them in the news like that, it's already too late. And so Pfizer's news on Monday morning announced that they had a COVID-19 vaccine developed in partnership with BioNTech, and it was more than 90% effective. And as a result of that, Peloton fell by 25%, Zoom dropped 17%, Roku and others were down in that same area, 6 and 7%. The market's thinking appears to be a widely available vaccine will prompt a return to normalcy. But
there's no guarantee.
That's right. But can you see that even happening? Because a lot of people right now are really enjoying working from home, and business is seeing that it is more cost effective not to have all the office space and all the things that go with having a building, like air conditioning and lights and telephone switches and the whole 9 yards. And if people are getting comfortable with this video teleconferencing, and they are, it's just not perfected yet, you will have more and more people willing to work from home. People have already moved out of their houses and gone out into the suburbs and bought bigger houses so they
have an office.
To have an office and a gym and everything else.
So, in fact, our daughter, I didn't tell you about this, in Colorado, so she has taken the bed out of the bedroom and turned that into a full-blown office.
Nice.
And she went on Amazon and bought a bicycle, not a Peloton. She got a bike for $250, indoor bike. Mm-hmm. But she said you can download the Peloton app for like $19 a month, and it gives you all these workouts that you can do.
Right.
She said it's phenomenal. So you don't have to buy a $1,000. I can't remember how much those bikes cost. They're very expensive.
They're proud of them.
But she bought one for $250, but just is going to use the app, and she's going to park it in front of the window so she can look outside, or she can do a Zoom while she's on her bicycle or listening on a teleconference. Right. Or she's got a rebounder so she can jump on a rebounder. She has a exercise ball that she sits on so she can so she can move around all day while she's working. She's ADD, and it helps her focus if she can move around and do stuff. And I bought her one of those things I put under my desk, the elliptical.
Yeah.
The underdesk elliptical, which I love.
Y'all should see Sherry at work. She is like a circus clown in there. She's sitting on one of these big inflatable balls that instead of a chair.
Because it makes my hips not hurt, so it's great.
And she has a treadmill.
Under desk elliptical.
Under the desk. And she's typing. She's balancing. She's going to have a great set of abs when it's said and done.
It's great, though, because it allows me to concentrate better because I'm moving while I'm sitting there. I couldn't do a stand-up desk. Standing makes my ankles and legs swell, but moving around on that, it's a CUBII. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's the brand I bought on Amazon for $250, and I'm telling you.
It's high quality.
It's changed my sitting time into something productive, but I don't even think about doing it. You just sit down and you just start pedaling while you're working and reading emails.
Now, see, what we need to do is get that hooked up to the electricity.
A
generator, and you can just power your office.
Yeah, I can power my electric car.
All right.
Oh, my goodness. I guess we should talk about some things we're working on. So...
Yeah.
Let me take time and talk about Becca. Becca's a new financial advisor. She's a certified financial planner. She has 20 years of experience in the financial services industry, and she has smaller minimum account size than we do. So mine is like $200,000. She will take accounts as small as $5,500. She also is doing financial plans. They can be small plans or full-blown financial plans depending on where you are in life. But our goal is to help you stress less and have a plan so that you know where you're headed and where you're going to end up in retirement. She had a couple in last week that talked to her, and they're going to do a plan, and they're going to buy financial plans for their children for Christmas and give them basically gift certificates, which I thought was genius.
Yes.
If you want to change your kid's life, you can go online and download My Life book for free, and they can get their end-of-life planning done, but a financial plan on top of it would be icing on the cake.
Yeah, this couple's going to give their daughter and future son-in-law a check made out to either Royal Alliance or Rosenberg Financial Group for the financial plan, so that they have to go spend that money, to get the financial plan done.
Smart.
Which is smart. So if y'all want something for someone who's trying to get on the right track, that's a great way to do it.
So the other thing that Becca's working on is seminars for employees. And I know we're not going to be able to go into employer groups because of the virus, but these are all going to be virtual. So it's going to be videos and handouts for creating your own financial plan. So if your company is interested in doing that, reach out to me, Sherry at rfmoney.com, SHERRI at rfmoney.com, and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about these employer seminars or video seminars that we could send to you, and then you could distribute it or post it on your website, make it available to your employees so they can get their financial affairs in order, because an employee that has less financial stress is a better employee.
That's right. And all these webinars will be on our website as well, at retirerelax.com, as well as all the supporting documentation that a person's going to need, such as the cash flow worksheet and the budget tracker and the whole 9 yards. It's all going to be on our website. It'll be easy to find.
Yep. Excellent. There was one last thing about the virus. I'm sorry. Scammers are sending text messages about fake COVID-19 trials. Do not click on the link, says the Better Business Bureau. The fake messages sent through text, email, or social media claim recipients may be eligible to help researchers study COVID-19. In one version of the scam, recipients receive a message directing them to a website that asks for identifying information. Scammers also may share a link in a text message that claims a clinical trial is paying participants. If you click it, you could unknowingly download malware onto your computer or your phone. This virus can give scammers access to your usernames, passwords, and other personal information stored on your computer. Please, please, please do not click on anything that comes from a source you don't know. And the only trusted organization or website for clinical trials is clinicaltrials.gov, G-O-V. If you want to go check out a trial and be a guinea pig.
Sherry, I'm going to flip over. I'm going to skip two little articles that we had there. And I'm going to, since you just mentioned don't click on things, I want to cover some technology stuff.
Good.
And this is, the hackers have taken the time of us being of the world pandemic to
taking advantage of the fact that we're all at home.
That's right.
Clicking on stuff.
So, this first article here talks about a chief of technology for a Athens, Texas college, and he said that he was unable to. He got phone calls.
This is a school district.
That's right. It is. I'm sorry. Said that he got calls from his colleagues that said they were unable to access the school's district's network. He logged into his computer, and it immediately came up and said, all your important files are encrypted. And he started unplugging the rest of the LAN cables.
But like you said, it was too late.
That's right. It's too late. Mr. Brooks works for a 3,000-student Athens independent school district, and he soon found himself corresponding with a cyber pirate who demanded money in return for freeing the district's systems, which were full of personal and financial information. The district shared screenshots of the interactions with the Wall Street Journal, revealing an up-close look at the details of the ransomware attack. So basically, you come in one morning, you log into your computer, it says that all your files are encrypted and you have to pay.
With Bitcoin.
And what they do is they give you instructions to go to the dark web, and you can log into their private chat room, and you can actually have the conversation with the hacker. Now, it's interesting that, of course they always want Bitcoin because it's untraceable. And the U.S. U.S. Treasury Department warned last month that ransomware attacks in general have increased during the coronavirus pandemic.
We've been hearing about this since the beginning.
Yep. And it was big before the pandemic, but right now it's even worse. It's a significant new source of stress that in what's already been a difficult year. I can't talk this morning. With pandemic forcing closures, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. And it's just outright extortion.
But here's the deal. So they're grabbing data such as addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, grades, and other sensitive student information to post online if payment isn't made. The information can aid identity theft or be highly embarrassing for vulnerable young people.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand that just a little bit of information that's stolen from you every year, you may think, you know what, it's just my birth date, that they got, right? Or that's just my credit card, I'll go close it down. Well, what you're also getting when people on the dark web is they go after all these attacks and they start bringing all the data together on an individual or on a company, and then that's where your identity can get stolen. It's called personal identifiable information. So once it's all been cataloged against you, then they start going after your assets.
Then they sell it. They sell
right.
it to everybody in the world who's going to try to attack you.
The last time I checked, they were selling every address for like less than $1.
It was pennies.
It was pennies. So, but if you have an office, and you get hacked, one of the things that you need to do is, first of all, find out what they want. And recently I dealt with a company locally here that got hacked, and they just did not allow their software. They didn't update it on a regular basis, and they did not have backups.
And the hackers locked down their email, their server,
That's
and
right.
their backup server.
Now,
and demanded $250,000 in Bitcoin.
That's right. And so when I was talking to them, I got them in touch with some good cyber people, and one of the things that they were advised is, if it's a brand new ransomware software that has hit you, the code in that is, they may not have a fix for it yet, but a lot of these older cyber, the old software they were using for ransomware, they do have fixes for that, and the good guys, the white hatters, can repair that. But if you don't have that luxury, and you get hit with a brand new string of software, what you might have to do is just take that server offline, those computers offline, and put them in a closet, and then start over again. But like, imagine a firm that is like, say, a lawyer or an architect or something like that has drawings and case files and everything locked up. That could be very, very bad. So some people have been paying, and these school districts have been paying, up to $1.14 million in average cost per attack of $233,000. But one of the things you need to do, and this is for individual homes or as well as businesses, you need multiple backups. I would encourage you to have a piece of software like Carbonite, and then also do physical backups. And do not do the physical backup and keep it on the same computer. It needs to be a removable hard drive, and when you're done with it, put it in your safe and protect it. And then
you're talking about daily?
No, you can do it periodically, like every month or something like that.
Okay.
It may be more if you're a business that deals with a lot of cases, doctors' offices and stuff like that. You definitely do not want to have... Man,
imagine if they hacked into a hospital and found out all the people's medications they were on and all this other stuff.
And they have.
Yeah.
Imagine hacking into somebody's law firm, or
how about a therapist?
Right. And a couple of other things here, Sherry, before we move on. Just remember, just because they were able to hack into your computer and lock you down doesn't mean they can unlock it. One of the things that you need to do is ask for proof of data, and that they need to show you that they can unlock a file. Pick a file and say, show me this, and then I'll know that if I pay you, you're going to be able to give me my files back. And one of the things that these hackers are doing is they're providing reports. So they say, if you pay, we'll show you the vulnerabilities in your system. Now, the FTC says don't do it, just don't pay at all. But some people are having to because they just have not taken the right steps to make sure that their data and their systems are protected. Let's see here. Update your firewalls and update your software patches. And also, you may want to consider getting an independent audit.
That would be a good idea.
Now,
So this school district believes the hackers got into their system through a phishing email, meaning some employee opened an email that had an attachment or a
That's
link
right.
to malicious software. Hackers also entered from weak cybersecurity controls and user login information. You must have protocols in your home and your business for very lengthy passwords that you change when you're prompted to change them,
Yep.
and not use the same password for everything that you do.
especially your
And
financials.
you've got to write it down.
That's right.
We have clients that literally use a separate computer if they access financial information from the computer they use for email and whatever else they do on the internet. They surf around and read the news and stuff on one computer. The other computer they only use for personal finance. Now, my question is does that really protect them? If both computers are running off the same system, you'd have to have two totally separate internet connections, right?
Well, if they're using the same password, and a lot of people at home, we get lazy. I mean, we want it to be as easy as possible.
It's frustrating and
It's frustrating.
aggravating.
Especially, and I logged into our automotive business this morning to update the books, and you know, it had to send me a text. So I had to run to the kitchen and get my phone and get the authentication, kind of the two-factor authentication. So it is kind of a pain, but it's worth it. Think about the hassle and the pain that you're going to suffer if you get hacked. You know,
Right.
your financial information, it's just out there in the wind. Good morning. You're on the air with Randy and Sherry.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. This is your 23rd cousin twice removed.
Ah,
I wanted to, since y'all are talking about hacking and scams and this and that and the other, there is a scam going around in our area here. I know two people that have been taking advantage of it, and that's people calling them that their light bill with Georgia Power has not been paid.
That's right.
And need to sort of bring that out to the attention of people for them to put up their guard against it.
Yes.
So what's the point of
they
that?
They also called me, but it just so happened that I covered it with a receipt, and I lowered the boom on them, and they hung up on me.
Well,
So wait. So what are they trying to get?
They're trying to say that your light bill did not get registered, your payment did not get registered, and they're going to cut off your lights in 45 minutes.
And they probably wanted you to pay with a
Power
credit.
off in 45 minutes, and you need to go to get a money order and send it to this address. Or your lights are going to get cut off.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't ask for a credit card.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because I know at our automotive shop, we got a phone call one day that said that our water was going to be cut off in 25 minutes. Exactly the same thing. And that we needed to make payment ASAP or they were going to have us arrested. And
No.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
They were bold in, weren't they?
They were. And we're
So
like,
they want a credit card, or what they want?
they wanted us to pay with a credit card. So
They wanted a credit card.
they wanted the credit card, they wanted the PIN on the back of it, they wanted the authorization.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, this person on me, they had to ask me for my account number. I told them I wasn't going to give it to them, you know.
Right.
And then they didn't even know my name, but they wanted me to send them some money.
Right.
Oh, that's
Right.
hilarious.
I mean, how dumb did I think I was?
Well, you know, I have another article here that's talking about if you haven't received your stimulus check that you must register this week. And that you can go to the IRS website and actually register if you haven't.
What does that have to do with the hacker?
Well, I'm getting to that, okay?
Oh.
But
It's just another way of getting to people.
right, but what they did is that people are getting texts that say, "Hey, let's see here, you're getting a text that says you've received a direct deposit for $1,200 from the COVID-19 Treasury Fund. Further action is required to accept this payment into your account. Continue here to accept this payment. It includes a phishing link that takes the victim to a fake web page set up to look just like the IRS Get My Payment app, which then steals their financial information. And so just remember, the IRS will not call, text, email, and just like most government agencies, they're not going to do that.
They'll send you a letter.
They'll send you a letter.
Which will make your blood pressure go up.
And
These people are slick, though.
They are.
Slick.
They sit around. You can go. I was listening to Kim Commando a few weeks ago on the way. We were out driving after the radio show, and she was interviewing a guy who was telling her how you can become a hacker. You can go on the dark web and you can take lessons to become a hacker now. It's gone that far.
Yeah, they actually have a HackerCon every year, and it's just the funny thing is the feds send.
They ought to be outlawed. Yeah.
Well, you have good hackers there and bad hackers. Okay, so you got the white hatters and the black hatters there, but you also have law enforcement who go undercover there, and. It's funny, though, that they have a T-shirt. If somebody walks up and says, "Are you a Fed?" you have to identify yourself. And if they get identified, they have to put a T-shirt on that says, "I'm the Fed." And it's pretty funny. I mean, but it's sad, but it's funny. Exactly.
It's funny that they can get over on people like that.
Right.
It is.
That's a bad sign in our society. That's welcome to the 21st century.
Right.
Okay, y'all.
Thank you for calling.
Blessed. I enjoy listening to y'all every week.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless you too.
Have a blessed Christmas season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've already got our tree up.
Yes, we do.
So I meant to mention. Can I change the subject, or do you have more on that?
Well, I was just going to say the last thing I want to say on the cyber. It takes a couple of seconds here. Just remember, you can expose yourself every time you click on an email, pick up a phone, or respond to a text. Scammers are everywhere, so it's crucial to be cautious when clicking on an email from an address you don't recognize. Just remember, just because you get an email doesn't mean you have to open it. So what you need to do is take a look at who it's from. If it looks like spam, treat it as spam. Okay,
delete
it.
Don't even look at it.
And put that.
Block it.
That's right. Block it. Put it on the junk email. Just that way you don't have to see it. And instead of if you get an email from somebody that says your account is overdue, click here, don't do it. Because if it says just use an example from Capital One. And what you should do then is
go to the website.
Go to the real website.
Log in and see if there's a problem.
That's right, exactly. And don't throw documents away. Use a shredder. Don't use easy-to-hack passwords. I know it is a pain, but you've got to protect yourself. And the last thing I'll say on this is check your credit report on a regular basis. And
go to annualcreditreport.com.
Yep.
And if you want to see your FICO score, I think it's creditscorecard.com.
Yes.
And it's a free FICO score. It will explain why your score is what it is, what you can do to make it better, and all that good stuff.
And last thing is, if you're out shopping during the Christmas holidays, do not use open Wi-Fi from your phone because there are...
To make purchases.
That's right. Because if you use open Wi-Fi, there are people that are just sitting there waiting for you to log in to the open website, the Wi-Fi, and then take your data. And it happens all too easy, and you will never know they were there.
That's right.
So, moving on, Sherry.
Alrighty, so I want to talk about an appointment I had yesterday and encourage everyone who needs to do this to put it on their list to get done immediately. So I had clients meet with me yesterday, and their sons were visiting from out of state, 2 sons, and they all 4 came and met with me to talk through planning for the future, planning for, what if they die, what if they end up in a nursing home, what if this and that, whatever happens. And so we sat there and we talked through, they have a will. Their powers of attorney they brought to me were out of date. They were getting those fixed yesterday. They were going to an attorney after they saw me. They already had an appointment, and they were going to get new powers of attorney. And for those of you who have not heard me talk about this, on July 1st of 2017, the Georgia Assembly voted and changed the form of the power of attorney for the state of Georgia. Many power of attorneys that were created before that time are no longer valid. So we reached out to all of our clients and ask them to send us their powers of attorney so we can attach them to the accounts. Because here's a scenario. You have a husband who worked and saved money, and all the accounts with us are in his name. His wife stayed at home with the kids, or didn't have much of a work record, or she was not the saver. He was the primary saver. It's very typical. Now they're in their 60s. They're retired. All the money is in his name. If something happens to him, if not death, because she's the beneficiary, if he dies, the money goes to her and she has access to the money. It's if he's incapacitated. If he's incapacitated and she needs to take money out to support them, she can't take money out without a power of attorney. She will have to go get an attorney and get
devastating.
She'll have to get guardianship over him. You don't need to go through all of that. We have the Georgia form. Statutory form power of attorney is free. I can email it to you. It is on my desktop. All you have to do is email me at Sherry, SHERRI, at rfmoney.com, and I will shoot it to you, and it has the explanation of how to fill it out, but you have to go get it notarized and witnessed.
Who is the person that created that power of attorney?
The Georgia Assembly.
Okay.
They created it because of elder fraud and abuse. The previous version was so simple that you could sign your life away by giving somebody power of attorney, and your kids could take your money.
Yeah.
They could take, your bank account. They could sell property. They could do anything. It was just too general. So this one is much more specific, and you have to mark exactly what you want this person to be able to do for you, and then you have to identify them in the document, who your power of attorney is. Their name, I think it's their social, their address, and cell phone. I can't remember, but it's personal identifying information. So they would have to produce that information to prove they are the person instead of just their name.
Yep. I asked you to create it because I didn't want people to think we had created a generic
no, we
form.
can't create legal documents. No.
But we will provide it for you.
Yeah. So I just email you the exact thing that they created back in July of 2017. So anyways, we talked to the will, we talked to the power of attorney. I gave them advanced directives, which are free on the National Hospice and Palliative Care website. If you need that, you can email me. Advanced directives are state-specific, and they are free online. You fill them out, and this is where you say, if I am on life support, here's what I want done. When I pass away, here's who I want being in charge of my burial. This is where you put all that information, and it's important that everyone's on the same page. Yeah,
I like the fact that the sons were there with your client.
Oh, it was great.
Because that's what really needs to happen, especially as we get older. We start losing our faculties. We all know that. That just happens. And
what are you talking about?
Exactly. You can't even remember what I was talking about.
Well, So the other things they talked about is what if they need long-term care? How are they going to pay for that? And we talked about that. And they've saved very well, and I think they're going to be just fine. Plus, they have a very huge social supportive network. Sons both live out of state, and so that's going to be tough. So we talked about having one of them be a backup power of attorney in case something happened to both of them when they were both compromised, so that they could access the money to be able to take care of them. Mm-hmm. Then we talked all the way through to burial plans. These folks are such good planners, they've already prepaid at the funeral home for their burial, and all of it's already paid for.
Wow.
And it's all in their safe deposit box. And the son from California says, people still use safe deposit boxes? I said, yeah, some people do, because it's either that or a safe. We have a safe in our house, and then everything's backed up on an encrypted thumb drive, which I also really like that. So if we were out of state or traveling somewhere, I can access our documents from anywhere. Just have to log on. You have to remember the password so I can log on to the encrypted thumb drive.
Especially, what you talking about? Passwords?
Right. But they have everything done. Everything is organized. We spent an hour just talking through all of it because the sons wanted peace of mind to know that everything was in place and who I was and all of that. And it was just phenomenal. So whoever your advisor is, call them and make an appointment. If your family's going to be coming to town for Thanksgiving or Christmas, this is the time to sit down and talk through all of this and give everybody peace of mind. And if you want a head start, download the life book from our website, retirerelax.com, and that will guide you through all of this.
And you update that life book annually,
every
right?
year, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it has all the correct percentages.
Time for me to get started on that again.
Yep.
So one other thing I want to talk about, financial thing that you may not know. Did you know that teenagers can invest in Roth IRAs?
One
of my first clients when I came to Macon came to me, and he had a 16-year-old daughter, and he said, I said, I pay her. She works for me part-time, and I would like the money that I pay her to go into a Roth IRA and use it, let it grow tax-deferred, because Roth money is after-tax money, so you take it out, it's not taxable. Use it for down the road. So we did this. We set up this account for her. So here's how this works. So if a teen has a summer job or works during the school year, their pay makes them eligible for a Roth. that they have to work in a job where they get a W-2, because it has to be absolutely reported to the IRS for this to work. If they're just paid under the table by somebody, I wouldn't do it, because how are you going to prove that if there's no W-2?
Right.
You don't want to do anything that's going to raise a red flag with the IRS. I'll tell you that right now. So they have to have earned income, but here's the kicker. They don't have to spend their money in the Roth. They just have to have the W-2. If let's say they made $6,000, which is the limit for somebody under 50 for contributing to a Roth this year, the parent could actually put the money in the Roth for them. They just have to be able to have reportable income of that dollar amount. So let's say they only made $4,000. They made $4,000. They have a W-2. The parent could open a Roth IRA custodial, because the parent they're a minor. So the parent is the custodian of the account. They're the minor. They will be the eventual owner of the account. But the parent can actually write the check and put the money in there. The IRS doesn't care who puts the money in there. They just care that the amount of money the person earns is the amount that went in. And it's just like let's say you're retired but your wife is still working. So your wife is still working and she can contribute to a Roth. So that means you could too, because you're a spouse, you have that opportunity to contribute because your spouse is still earning income.
Right.
It's a similar kind of a deal. So now taking the money out. You can take the contribution out at any time for any reason without owing any taxes or penalties, but the account holder will need to hold the account for a minimum of 5 years and wait until they are at least 59 and a half to take out the money the contributions earn in interest if they want to avoid a 10% early withdrawal penalty. So I talked to this lady, this 16-year-old that we put this money into her account. I talked to her 2 weeks ago. God. Because she's getting married and they're looking at buying a house.
Right.
So she was looking at using this money for the down payment. Well, that $5,000 is now worth $15,000. And so
Sweet.
We talked about that she could take the $5,000 out, but the rest she would owe taxes on and penalties on if she took the remainder, if she took the whole other piece of the chunk out.
Right.
So she's going to have to decide on whether she wants to do that or not, or just take the $5,000. But anyway, so this is something you could do for a kid. It's not really for college, because you can't take out the amount that's grown. If you want to do something for your grandkids for college, the 529 is a lot better for that.
What is your opinion on a 529 account versus just a regular investment account for a young person?
Well, a 529 plan, the money goes in, cash goes in. It grows tax deferred, and if it's used for tuition and higher level expenses, and depending on the state, like in Georgia, you can even use it for public or for private education that's not college. So you could use it for a junior college or a private school, and it's tax free when you withdraw it if you use it for the right purpose.
Right. So what if they don't want to go to school?
Then there's a 10% penalty.
Okay.
If you take it out for something else. I've got a couple of people that are doing that. We're trying to get their money out, and they didn't go to college, but they need to take the money out. And I can't get them to take the money out for some reason. But yeah, a lot of people probably don't realize that you could start a kid off with a Roth, and now when they become age majority at 18 in Georgia, the account needs to become theirs because it is their money. You can't take the money back and
That's right.
use it for something else or give it to someone else or that kind of stuff. And because it's an IRA, they're going to be beneficiaries. So something happens to them, the money goes to the beneficiary. So the custodian could become the beneficiary. If something happened, then the money would go back to them, and then they could use it for someone else or whatever. But
that
anyways,
makes sense. Yeah.
Anywho, and one last thing. We don't have very much time left, it looks like. How much time do we have left? 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I have to just say something about Joe Biden because my head's going to explode if I don't. So, President-elect Joe Biden made a campaign proposal to erase $10,000 of student loan debt for roughly 37 million Americans. This is just the federally backed student loans. Experts are divided on whether the incoming president will be able to make good on that promise. He actually has said $50,000 for all these people. Up to $50,000,
right.
$10,000 for 5 years per person. Well, if you do the simple math, $10,000 for 37 million Americans would cost $370 trillion.
Yep.
Who doesn't use their brain and do math anymore? How can this guy get away with saying these stupid things?
Well, the government owns most of that money, and through their
so they just delete it off the books.
Well, delete it off the books, but this is a slippery slope.
Yes.
I mean, if we delete everybody's student loan now, we're going to have to do that for everybody in the future. And again, it's the slippery slope into socialism. So I would think that anybody who's going to have their debt forgiven, first of all, they need to go to some kind of debt management class, because...
Why don't we just hack in and ruin their credit?
I'll see you on the dark web.
So Elizabeth Warren wants the first 50,000 to be vanquished.
Yeah.
So do the math on that. I mean, my head wants to explode.
I know.
On this stupidity. But anyways, enough of that. So you've been listening to Randy and Sherry Goss. We are fee-based financial planners. I'm a certified financial planner, as is Steve Rosenberg and Becca Wilton, our new advisor. We are with Rosenberg Financial Group. Our website is retirerelax.com. Go check it out. Download special reports, and pretty soon you'll be able to see some Becca videos that you can pass on to your employees and help them get a financial plan and get their affairs in order.
Yeah, it's been fun kind of learning how to do all these YouTube videos and writing the script.
She's doing a good job.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah. But anyways, if you have any questions for me, give me an email, Sherry, SHERRI, at rfmoney.com. Is that it? Why do you...
What, you need to calibrate that finger, CT.
Wave his finger around, and he's like, oh, no, stretch it out. Let me see. Didn't want to talk about that. I am kind of out of stuff for right now.
Let's just whistle.
I can't whistle.
Got a couple of jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho.
Anyway, if you're out and about today, have some time.
Yes.
Go over to the Fire and Ice.
Thank you.
Over there at Central City Park.
Now he's cutting you off.
Yeah. Thanks, CT.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
The views expressed on this show should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities or services mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risk, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should only be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Securities are offered through Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services are offered through Rosenberg Financial Group, a registered investor advisor not affiliated with Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated. Offices are located at 2517 Moody Road, Warner Robins, and 4875 Riverside Drive, Suite 201 in Macon. Phone numbers are 922-8100 and 741-4457.